Welcome to the debate. So imagine stepping onto the pitch at the World Cup to face a global powerhouse like, I don't know, Argentina or France.
Right, but you're representing a smaller federation.
Exactly. You have a fraction of their budget, no world-renowned youth academy, and, well, definitely not the small army of data scientists that the heavyweights bring to every tournament.
But as the match unfolds, your coach's tablet pings.
Yeah. It tells them the exact millisecond the opposing goalkeeper hesitates during a high press, and crucially, it offers a specific, data-backed tactical shift to exploit it.
Which brings us to our topic today. We're looking at the 2026 World Cup, and specifically, what happens when FIFA hands every single underdog the ultimate AI playbook.
Right, the Football AI Pro platform, built in partnership with Lenovo. Every one of the 48 teams gets identical, unrestricted access to a generative AI system analyzing, over 2,000 distinct football-related metrics.
And the core question we're tackling is, does this equal access actually level the playing field? Like, does giving everyone the same sophisticated analytics permanently reduce the deep-seated financial inequalities between those smaller teams and the wealthy powerhouses?
And I look at this deployment, and I see the most significant blow to financial inequality in modern football history.
Wow, the most significant.
I really think so. Wealthy federations have officially lost their historical monopoly on elite match preparation and strategic intelligence.
I hear that, and I understand the optimism, I really do, but I come at it from a totally different angle. You might be closing the informational gap, sure, but equal data absolutely does not equate to equal capability on the pitch.
How so?
Well, the sheer precision and complexity required to actually execute these high-level, AI-driven tactical decisions means that the wealthier teams, the ones who already possess the superior human infrastructure, the elite coaches, the sports psychologists, they will still extract a disproportionate advantage.
Okay, but let's just unpack the sheer scale of the democratization happening here, because I think it's really easy to understate it.
Am I understating it?
I think you are. Before this technology, analyzing 2,000 metrics across 48 teams required massive, multi-million-dollar budgets.
Sure, you needed massive server farms.
Yeah, server farms, and dozens of human analysts working around the clock. But what Football AI Pro does is automate all of that heavy lifting. It's essentially a generative AI platform, functioning much like Claude or Gemini, but trained specifically on hundreds of millions of football data points.
The scale is definitely unprecedented, yes. I'll give you that.
Right, but it's not just the scale, it's the synthesis. It gives a massively underfunded federation the exact same analytical power as the wealthiest footballing nations on Earth. It synthesizes those 2,000 metrics into interactive charts, plain text explanations, and short video clips instantly.
Okay, but
wait, just to finish the thought. If a smaller team is preparing to face a giant, the AI acts as an automated scouting network. It, categorizes key moments, flags opponent vulnerabilities, and translates raw data into a scouting report that used to cost millions to generate.
I will gladly concede that providing this tool to a team that previously relied on legal pads and intuition is a massive upgrade.
Thank you.
But we have to look closely at the reality of high-performance sports. Providing a smaller team with an incredibly advanced analytical tool doesn't magically erase the infrastructural gaps required to actually apply it.
I don't think it's magic, it's just...
Let's think about the overwhelming scale of the telemetry being captured here. We aren't just talking about a few basic stats. We are talking about stadium cameras tracking 29 distinct data points on every single player's body.
50 times per second, yeah.
Exactly. And add to that a sensor suspended inside the match ball, pinging 500 times per second.
It's incredible detail.
It is. But if you hand everyone the telemetry dashboard of a Formula One car, that doesn't make everyone a Formula One driver.
Oh, come on.
Hear me out. If you put me in an F1 car and tell me the tire degradation is at 4% and the track temperature dropped by 2 degrees, I still don't have the neck muscles or the reflexes to take the next corner at 5 Gs. It's the exact same dynamic here.
Wait, help me understand the execution gap in that F1 analogy, because I think it's a bit of a stretch.
How is it a stretch?
Because unlike an F1 dashboard that just spits out raw numbers, This AI literally does the translating for you. It tells the coach what the numbers mean in plain English.
It translates the information, yes. The AI might identify a micro-tactical vulnerability. Say it notices a slight half-second delay in an opponent's midfield pivot during a transition phase.
Right, which is brilliant intelligence.
It is brilliant, but verifying that vulnerability, designing a highly specific training drill on a Tuesday morning to exploit it, and communicating that effectively to a squad of players, that requires a depth of human coaching expertise.
Sure, but the coaches...
Wealthier federations possess highly specialized human capital. They have elite coaching staffs who know exactly how to translate that generative text prompt into actionable, physical, on-pitch execution. Smaller teams often just don't have that translation layer.
That's an interesting point, though. I would definitely frame it differently. I think you're overestimating this burden of interpretation.
You think so?
Yeah, because we aren't just talking about pre-match preparation where coaches have a week to design drills. We have to look at the real-time adaptability during the match itself. This is where I believe the financial divide is aggressively dismantled.
Okay, let's talk real time.
As the game unfolds, the AI delivers real-time text summaries of tactical shifts instantly to the bench.
Which is a huge leap from waiting for the halftime video review. I'll totally agree with that.
It's a completely different universe. Picture this, right? It's the 60th minute. A wealthy team's elite $30 million a year manager changes their formation to overload the left flank.
A classic move.
Exactly. Historically, the smaller team's coach might take 10 minutes to even recognize the nuanced shift, and by then, they're down a goal. Now, that smaller team's coach gets an immediate data-driven analysis of that exact shift.
Okay.
Accompanied by an AI recommendation on how to neutralize it with a specific substitution. It allows for instant precision under high pressure. It effectively neutralizes the overwhelming tactical superiority that wealthy teams have traditionally bought and paid for.
I totally get that scenario, I really do. But I'm sorry, I just don't buy that it truly neutralizes the advantage on the grass.
Why not? The answer is right there on the tablet.
Let me tell you why. Let's look at how the system actually handles those recommendations. The AI allows coaches to simulate tactical scenarios using 3D avatars. We know that all 1,248 players in the tournament are scanned, right?
Right.
So a coach can look at the tablet and theoretically see a 3D simulation of exactly how a specific high press will function against that newly formed left flank overload.
Which completely proves my point. The simulation shows them exactly what to do.
But executing a highly precise AI-recommended tactical shift mid-game isn't a video game. You can't just press a button and have the players perfectly execute the 3D simulation.
Well, no, obviously not a button, but
It requires players who have the cognitive and neuromuscular conditioning to adapt their spatial awareness instantly under intense physical exhaustion.
okay, fair.
And where do players with that specific elite level of tactical fluidity come from? They are developed within world-class, heavily funded, data-driven academies.
Yeah.
And those academies and the players they produce are entirely monopolized by the wealthiest nations and clubs. So the AI gives everyone the exact same blueprint, but the execution gap remains entirely dictated by financial inequality, because you still need elite players to build the house.
Okay, I see the logic there. You're saying the blueprint is only as good as the builders.
Exactly.
But see, that execution gap is exactly what the system's personalized feedback loops are designed to address over the long term. We're focusing a lot on the coaches, but the AI also provides the players themselves with individualized breakdowns of their performance.
You mean the post-match personalized data?
Exactly. It shows a player their personal pressing patterns, their movement efficiency, and it compares those trajectories directly to elite positional norms.
Okay.
So let's look at the development side. If a 19-year-old prodigy from a smaller, underfunded federation can now log in and see exactly how their movement trajectories compare to the world's best defensive midfielders,
Right.
and they get that feedback via an identical AI system, doesn't that inherently democratize player development? Doesn't that directly undermine the monopoly of those elite European academies you just mentioned? Because now the kid has the elite coaching feedback right in their pocket?
That is actually a beautiful mechanism, I have to admit. And giving a 19-year-old from a smaller federation clear, data-driven targets for improvement is a massive developmental tool. It is a genuine positive.
Right, it levels the playing field.
But have you considered how the financial ecosystem of global football actually operates in response to that data?
What do you mean? They use the data to get better?
Yes, they do. But wealthy clubs and the massive European federations have access to the exact same platform.
Sure.
Because this AI identifies movement efficiency and optimization opportunities with such granular mathematical precision, wealthy teams will simply use it to identify and acquire that 19-year-old talent even earlier in their career.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They will see the kid's spatial awareness metrics match an elite profile before the kid even fully develops. Instead of democratizing the sport and letting smaller nations build powerhouse teams organically, this technology could just hyper-accelerate the global scouting process.
By poaching them.
Exactly. It could exacerbate the financial drain of talent from smaller federations to massive clubs, poaching them before those players can ever lift their home nation to international glory.
Well, I'm not totally convinced by that line of reasoning, mostly because it assumes the smaller federations won't use the same data to retain and maximize their collective team synergy.
Synergy only goes so far against giant checkbooks.
But the AI maps team cohesion just as well as individual brilliance. If a smaller team knows exactly how their 11 players operate perfectly together, that collective intelligence can beat a team of newly bought superstars.
Synergy is important, but in a global market, financial gravity usually wins when it comes to player retention.
Perhaps, but let's pivot slightly. You mentioned human execution being the ultimate bottleneck. What about when we remove human execution entirely from the equation?
Oh?
Let's talk about officiating, because this is a space where precision is absolute, and it directly targets historical inequalities.
Ah, the semi-automated offside technology?
Yes, SAIOT. This is a critical piece of leveling the playing field. Historically, smaller teams have often felt the sting of, subconscious large market favoritism or simply human error from referees in high-pressure matches against giants.
That's certainly a common narrative, yeah?
Right. Well, now, before the tournament even starts, every player undergoes a 30 to 90-second body scan, creating a perfect 3D digital avatar.
Right, creating the digital twins.
Exactly. And let's explain how this actually works, because it's brilliant. You have the optical cameras forming the skeleton by tracking the players, and you have that 500 hertz ball sensor we mentioned earlier, acting as the heartbeat of the match.
Okay.
The AI perfectly synchronizes these two data streams. It instantly knows the exact millisecond the ball is kicked and the exact spatial location of every limb on the pitch.
Yep.
It cuts offside review times by 30 seconds and can detect a violation down to a literal kneecap. This perfect, automated precision removes human bias entirely. It guarantees smaller teams fair officiating against traditional giants.
The reduction of human error and the improved transparency absolutely improves the integrity of the game. I won't dispute that at all. And those 3D visual explanations they broadcast to the fans?
They're amazing.
They're fantastic for making the decisions transparent, but we must remember a critical caveat from the architecture of this system. It's right there in the name. It is semi-automated.
You're focusing on the semi part.
I absolutely am, because it is not perfect absolute automation. Human operators in the video operation room still sit between the AI and the referee on the pitch.
Well, sure, they verify it.
They must manually verify the data quality. They have to check for player confusion. For instance, when two players from opposing teams overlap in a chaotic corner kick, their limbs can cross in a way that might momentarily confuse the optical tracking algorithms.
Okay, but
The human operator has to visually confirm the AI selection before notifying the referee.
the AI provides a highly accurate confidence signal.
It does, but the human element remains the final gatekeeper. And wherever human operators are tasked with interpreting complex, high-pressure situations, even if it's just verifying a digital kneecap, the potential for human interpretation and thus subconscious bias or error is minimized, but fundamentally not eliminated.
Minimized to the point of statistical irrelevance, I would argue.
You think so?
Yes, when the system checks data quality and confirms an offside within milliseconds, the human operator is essentially acting as a failsafe, not a primary decision maker. They aren't guessing if the striker was past the defender. The AI is showing them the exact geometric proof.
It's still a human pressing the button.
But the proof is there. To me, this represents a structural revolution. By providing equal access to 2,000 performance metrics, automated tactical scouting, instant in-game analysis, and unbiased officiating tech, the fundamental financial barrier to elite tactical intelligence has been permanently dismantled.
It's a bold claim.
Smaller teams no longer need millions of dollars and an army of analysts to know exactly how to deconstruct an opponent's strategy.
And I maintain that while the democratization of this data is a monumental technological achievement, truly a marvel of engineering, data is only potential energy.
Potential energy, huh?
Yes. The precision required to execute these AI-driven tactical decisions means that human infrastructure, elite coaching, and long-term talent development will still dictate who truly benefits from the technology on the pitch. Immense financial inequality still exists in those infrastructural areas.
Okay.
A generative AI dashboard, no matter how sophisticated, cannot perform a perfectly timed overlapping run, nor can it communicate a complex mid-match formation change to a squad of exhausted players who haven't spent 10 years in an elite academy learning how to do it.
It is remarkable, though, to step back and reflect on the profound evolution of football analysis we're witnessing here. We have moved from simple optical tracking systems that just told us, how far a midfielder ran over 90 minutes.
Right.
To generative AI platforms that act as dedicated, highly intelligent tactical assistants. The 2026 World Cup truly marks a new era where technology doesn't just measure the sport passively, it actively enhances the human elements of strategic thinking and preparation.
It is a massive leap forward. And for those looking to understand the broader implications of this beyond just the World Cup, it is really worth exploring the ongoing efforts by FIFA and ETH Zurich.
Oh yeah, the lower divisions.
Exactly. They are actively working to adapt these exact AI advancements for lower divisions and domestic leagues worldwide, which brings a whole new layer to the democratization argument. The technology is scaling rapidly.
It certainly is. And as that scaling continues, the ultimate impact of data equality on the financial hierarchy of global football is something we will all be watching closely. Will the playing field finally be leveled, or will the wealthy simply find new ways to utilize the same tools? It's a highly complex landscape, and we leave it to you to form your own conclusion on whether the notepad has truly caught up to the data scientist. Thank you for joining us on The Debate.